Your basics to become a distinguished trainer. Achieving excellence in the training field requires more than just knowledge. It demands clarity, influence, structure, and measurable results. In this video, we explore the 7 essential basics every professional trainer must master to stand out, deliver impactful sessions, and achieve real training outcomes. Whether you are a new trainer, corporate trainer, public speaker, coach, or someone planning to enter the training industry, this video will help you understand the foundational principles of becoming a distinguished and successful trainer. Before entering into the disparate details related to the preparation and training of trainers, I wanted to choose the subject of the basics of the trainer. That takes his hand, to reach the degree of excellence, and to be at the forefront of this clip. Of course, achieving this degree in training work requires the availability of many factors and criteria. And the most important of which is to be in love with this work, and without that, it better to withdraw from this arena. Generally speaking, there are 7 basics, and whoever finds himself competent of entering the field of training, he must achieve the required results from these basics. A successful start has a successful end. One of the facts that cannot be overlooked is that successful beginnings have successful ends. To manage any successful business, its beginning must also be successful, and training work is not far from this saying. As a professional and distinguished trainer, if you start your training program, while providing it with all the required success factors, this program will also end successfully, and will add to you personally a lot of credibility, and increases the confidence of the others to appear in front of you in other training programs. Imagine what it would be like if you neglected the presence of tools and devices supporting the training process, such as acoustics, microphone and speakers, optics, direct lighting and side lighting, ventilation devices, fans or air conditioners, or display means, whiteboard, display stand, TV screen, or projector. Also, imagine what the situation would be like if you neglected the correct distribution of the tables that the trainees will sit on, according to the type of training to be planned, or if the size of the hall is not suitable for the number of trainees, or you did not take adequate rest before carrying out your training program, or the context of your presentation on the screen is either unclear or not well sequenced, making the trainee to be confused and hard to capture the information. Or you are the one of the trainers who prefer reading rather than interacting through explanations with the trainees. All of these negatives will lead to a sad ending for you as a trainer. Deep listening is one of your cornerstone, and silence reflects the best words. The training material that you are explaining now is one of your cornerstone for conveying information to those sitting in front of you, and receiving the feedback of those who listen to you. As far as they understand the relevant material, there may be some kind of ambiguity or lack of understanding, which must prompt you to modify some topics of the course through simplification, transformation, addition, etc. To solve this ambiguity, or misunderstanding, thus you have succeeded in your mission. Also, listening to the opinions of the trainees can reveal to you some kind of shortcomings or negatives arising from the tools or devices supporting the training process, which you must initiate immediately a sort of treatment urgently, for the training path to regain its previous and stable condition. As for resorting to stop talking and initiating sometimes silence from you during the training lecture, it may happen, as a kind of tactic to control the movement of the trainees, when a fuss or side discussion out of context occurs between the trainees during the session. It is not welcomed for distinguished trainers to enter into a Byzantine discussion or sophistical debate with the trainees about a matter that concerns them personally, so your silence is the most informative response to this fuss and the side discussion, which unfortunately may shorten the time of the training program session, or confuse the thoughts of others who are not participating in this debate or discussion. Your body language and facial expression define your personality. Body language is a form of nonverbal, or non-voice communication in which visual physical movements work to deliver certain messages. Either to replace speech, or be associated with it. Also, body language includes gestures, movement of hands, face, or other parts of the body. As well, gestures allow individuals to communicate a variety of feelings and thoughts, such as approval, objection, gratitude, etc. Human facial expressions are one or more movements that occur as a result of contraction or relaxation of the facial muscles, as a reflection of brain signals. To express the state of the individual's feelings, it's decisive towards the support of the trainer at the time of presentation, and while providing information to the trainees. Eyes language is considered one of the most important languages of the body, as it conveys important messages about the extent of our competence and self-confidence as trainers. And the eye is the window through which the human mind sees events, and visual contact establishing communication between your eyes and the eyes of the person/people you talk to and interact with verbally, and the more you establish contact better visually, you left more positive impression of yourself as a trainer. And you will be able to build a better relationship with those you speak to as individuals or groups. These personal tools for the trainer are the keys to his success and brilliance in the world of training. The better they are used, the easier it will be to reach the pinnacle of success. Teaching adults is fun, so take advantage of what they have of added value. Some of those who are about to practice training may find that the idea of training adults is uncomfortable. What we mean by adults, they are the groups who have passed the school stage, and most of them are currently practicing their work or profession. In contrast to this concept, the education and training of adults for one of the knowledgeable, or technicians enriches the training program. And at the same time, gives pleasure through the atmosphere of mutual discussion between the trainer and the trainees about the different matters. This may increase the knowledge, or the understanding of the trainer himself, about one of the points related to the present training program. The distinguished trainer is the one who can exploit the vocabulary of the human skills, and the accumulated experiences, both practically and professionally, of some trainees during the discussion and debates that are available between the trainer and the trainees. These trainees went through many experiences, problems, and crises that they were able to overcome by providing solutions and alternatives to them. Therefore, knowing the details of some of these experiences will enrich the trainer's concept, and consider this as an added value. On the other hand, the adult side of the trainees will have easy communication with the trainer during the presentation session of the training program. And their comprehension of what is presented to them will be greater, especially if the training program presented to them is in contact and relates to the vocabulary of their work in a good way. And this may result in some innovative ideas be presented to the trainer by these trainees, where they are taken into account towards modifying his program, for the better in the future, depending on these generated ideas. Mental orientation and cognitive dissonance are not an insidious evil. Among the worst enemies of trainers are the two phenomena of the negative mental orientation. The perceptual and cognitive dissonance of the trainee. The human mental orientation represents the main force that determines the path, either to success or failure. Whoever sees an opportunity that can be exploited for his benefit in every matter that confronts and represents a difficulty for him, then he is the one of those with a positive mental orientation. And whoever sees the opposite, he is the one of those with a negative mental orientation. The mental orientation at the beginning of any task must affect its outcome, and therefore the distinguished trainer must bear in mind the importance of taking note of the negative mental attitudes of some trainees from the beginning, and trying to treat that, and converting it into positive mental attitudes that interact with the facts of the training program. Perceptual and cognitive dissonance is a state of tension, mental stress, or discomfort experienced by an individual who holds two or more contradictory beliefs, ideas, or values at the same time, or performs a contradictory behavior, or confronted with new information that is contradictory to him, or preconceived notions. So this dissonance generates a tension and psychological pressure that seeks to remove this dissonance, which arises as a result of trying to change the old belief, or as a result of rejecting the new information. This is the one of the serious matters that the distinguished trainer must be treated and overcome. Your credibility increases whenever you facilitate and upgrade the style of training process. Metaphorically, training schools differ according to the styles of the trainers themselves. Therefore, the factors of attracting the trainees to attend the training programs and perpetuating them differ. And this attraction comes as a result of the good style and smooth performance of the trainer, and the ability to provide information easily. Of course, this will lead to an increase in your credibility as a trainer in the training world. This era in which we live has provided many tools and means that support and assist trainers in performing their training mission in the best way possible. The most important of these tools are the audio tools and presentation programs that work on modeling the training course in a way that facilitates the trainees' understanding of the concept of scientific material in a short time. The style of the trainer sitting on the seat, in front of the microphone set on the table, makes it easier to read from the book or the papers, considering that as a training program. Unfortunately, this style has expired, as it is considered just a lecture that this trainer wants to accomplish, and whoever understands has understood, otherwise, it does not matter. A training program that lacks interaction, movement, and exchange of views between the trainer and the trainees is a failed program by all standards, and the trainer who adopts this sterile style must lose his credibility in the world of training. Adoption of this method indicates the shortcomings in harnessing modern technologies to support the training programs. Objection from the trainees is not against you. Consider their demands and consult them. Objections to some points in the training program are a natural thing, and it is expected to happen. So do not take any objection against you personally as a trainer. Discuss to convince, listen, and do not interrupt them, slow down, and think carefully before you respond. Also, a distinguished trainer must conjure up the ability to discover these objections, whether they are real or unreal, fake objections. Maybe the purpose of these objections is to waste time and create a kind of confusion, so that you can treat this correctly by responding to the real objections and preventing unreal objections. To avoid the repetition of the same situation, and this must be done in a manner that is not alienating to the rest of the trainees.